Namyo Konja Samjang Wanyan Kusam Jawa Jasa Jasa Kanjan Chuji Jawa Zosenba Dunjan Beshala Zawanda Contentanyan Chinyin Ruvara Toranganja Sanje Tabarasha Wanzaranzi Nunda Dujaja Maon Dejamu Bataisha Tada Penjan Jasan Ruvanga Jitarisha Dojala Zawanda Sanje Kunga Chime Peman Jang Shinde Tuve Tsunze Longchen Che Kange Yansen Tunaval Sawanda Sandame Chinjela Tuye Yemen Devra Chinjela Majun Nanga Tata Nanga Simchen Tamchen Namchen Lana Mepa Yang Tangpa Sanje Kambang La Chini Jang Gobarcha Ti Chetatari Tambe Chi Girimba Na Yang Tabar Nyamsa Lawan Jiwa Nyambe Samba Chancha Chota Tukje Kongondro Kone.
Please start off by cultivating the motivation of bodhicitta that wants to establish all infinite mother sentient beings in the happiness of perfect Buddhahood, the state of omniscience, and think that I will practice the stages of the path accordingly in order to do this. So please listen to this teaching with that kind of motivation.
Dudjom Tersar Ngondro
Now the topic of this teaching today is on the concise recitation of the preliminary practices of the new treasures of Dudjom, or the Dudjom Tersar short Ngondro, and I'm going to give a very short, very little bit of commentary on the words of this practice now. So the first line of this practice is Namo Lume Tengi Gompa Lama Ken, or Homage, I beseech you to know me, Lama, deceatless, constant protector. This is the first line of the root text.
Namo Sonam Rinpoche
So this word, it starts off with namo, or homage. This means like to pay homage or to make prostrations. The Tibetan word is chatsalo. But so we're prostrating or making homage. And who are we making homage to? We're making homage in this and in all future lifetimes until we attain the state of perfect Buddhahood, to the deceatless, constant protector. And who is that? That's the Lama. So that's why we're saying, I beseech you to know me, Lama, deceatless, constant protector.
Lam Chinjaloban Corbe Dongale to Letene to Dumbachiga Tap, then a Sanja Gomba, Lam Rana Tenten, Concha Sanja Kun, the Sanja Tamje, the Netango Lama, then it's on your theatre, Kawatonga Sanja Lama Tava, then it's on Saturday, so your teeth. Sanje tam che tam thoma lama gewe shinyana tena tambe church tena chen ti che tamje tena leme tenji ngombo te sura sarang tingen lama tanda rangla tena che tanga lama tere ese te tela tena chen che tena
And this Lama, this deceiteless, constant protector, protects us from the suffering of the 6 realms of existence and temporarily helps us to gain the happiness of the higher realms, and ultimately helps us attain the state of perfect Buddhahood, the state of liberation. And this Buddha, the Lama, deceiteless, constant protector, is always protecting us, and the way in which they protect us is completely flawless or undeceiving or deceiteless, it says in the English here. And constant protector, so the Lama is the one who's always protecting us, who's always undeceiving, and they protect us from, like we said, from the suffering of samsara, and they have the power to pull us out of samsara and bring us to the state of liberation. So that's why we say, Lama, I beseech you to know me, like think of me. That's why we pray to the Lama in this way. So I beseech you to know me. We're praying here, we're supplicating, praying to the Lama, and we supplicate and pray with the 3 types of faith. Like, please Lama, protect me, know me, look out for me, this kind of thing, until from this day forward, from now until I attain the state of perfect enlightenment, please look after me. And the 3 types of faith are the faith of interests,
clear, yeah.
The like interested faith, longing faith, and confident faith. I'm not sure, these 3 words are translated differently in different books. So that's this first line, Homage, I beseech you to know me, Lama, deceiteless protector. And then after this come the 4 thoughts that turn the mind to the Dharma and away from samsara. Then this goes with the lines, the next 6 lines, or sorry, 5 lines. The ease and obtainments of this precious human rebirth are extremely difficult to find. Whoever is born possesses the phenomena of impermanence and death. The cause and result of virtuous and non-virtuous actions cannot be denied. The continuous character of the 3 realms of samsara is an ocean of suffering. By remembering this, may my mind turn to the holy Dharma. So that's what these 5 lines are about, the 4 thoughts. So we have to recite these 6 lines, starting with Namo Lumentengi Gombalam Kien, ending with Trene Dapo Chula Gyorsho. We recite these 6 lines 3 times. We repeat.
Tanjandana Shindanya Paka Sata, Tanjurga, Tene, Tawa Jetan Java Chudembe Miller Rinpoche Tinitin, Shindanya Paka Res, Akarasan, Tambo Talwa Jetasa, Nyawana, Saranga Dungal Ketene, Church the Mukumba, Dharma Petene, Tari, Maje Tawa, Tambo Res, Tawa, Tene Tambo Tila.
And this first line of the four thoughts, the eases and obtainments of this precious human rebirth are extremely difficult to find. So these eases and obtainments that go along with having a precious human rebirth are extremely difficult to find, to have. And these eases and obtainments refers to the 8 eases and the 10 obtainments. And the 8 eases, the first one is to not be reborn in the hell realms, to not experience the suffering of hot and cold in the hell realms. The second of the 8 eases is to not be reborn in the hungry ghost realm. If we're reborn in the hungry ghost realm, suffering from the hunger and thirst of that realm, then we won't have the freedom or the ease to practice the Dharma. Then the third of the is not being reborn in the animal realm, where the beings suffer from like eating one another and the constant fear associated with that, and the suffering of like being forced to serve humans and carry loads and be beasts of burden, and also beings in the animal realm have this kind of natural ignorance that prevents them from being able to practice the Dharma. So not being born in the animal realm is the third of these eases. And then the fourth of the eases is, even if we're born in the human realm, even if we have a human body, if because of our past accumulation of negative karma and past failure to accumulate merit and so on, we might be born as humans, but our minds won't be suitable for transforming and practicing the Dharma. So being born in that kind of situation means we're also not free to practice the Dharma. So that's the fourth of these eases. So that first one, or barbarians and and then the fifth of the 8 eases is to not be reborn in like a society where people have no idea about what the Dharma is or what it means to practice virtue, and so they don't have any idea about the Dharma, any idea about what's right and wrong, so they're not able to practice the Dharma because of that. And not being born in that kind of society is the fifth of these 8 eases.
Then, Truba, then, Kubajan, Ambo, Junshub, Hakosa, Ambo Junshub, Ambo Junshub, Langdor Ne, Hakomares, Michibe, then Consola, Namju Yamaras, then Theta Maybe, then Ambo Jun Mashuba, then Theta Kuba Majibe, Tavares.
And the 6th of these eases is to not be born like lacking certain faculties. So like if we're born as humans but we like are missing some of our sense organs, then we won't be able to have the discrimination necessary to tell the difference between what to accept and what to abandon. And so we won't be able to practice the Dharma because of that. So being born with complete faculties is the 6th of the 8 eases.
Mirjeja Sangye Majin Bishing the Jenan, Chujin Nawa Mepe, Mumbeka water, Chuji Datsam to Mara, Tatarmaimba, Taretene, Kalwa Sambo Sanje, Chambicatus Jevati, Setita Wikatene, Mumbala Machevetawa.
And the 7th of these 8 eases is not being born in a like a dark eon, or not being born in a place and time where where the Buddha hasn't appeared, where there's no Buddhist teachings. So if we're born as humans, but in a time and place where the Buddhist teachings haven't appeared, then that's like being born in a dark period, you could say, and we won't have the ease to practice the Dharma then either.
Then Tsering Bonams Jena Jepa, Jena Nantin, Doyala Sapa, number in, then it Shiva Matu Patala, then Yingwa Koneg Lun, Doyanga Ingwagazin, then it church to be a maratari, Tirimajivetana Tavares.
The last of these 8 eases is to not be reborn in the realm of the long-lived gods. And in that realm, the beings are constantly distracted by all the sense pleasures they experience, so they don't have the capacity to kind of escape from that distraction and practice the Dharma. So not being born in that kind of long-lived God realm is the 8th of these 8 eases.
Tawaji Sakas Nyawata Yedata Tundro Tane Yeta Tundro Chetane Lota Komba Sanji Tomba La Sabata Tendege Minimato Tare Ambotsam Tawajeta Dembekatene Milirambacheto. Then take all it in it. Ranjo Nase, Tawaje Njorwa Chusa, Rangla Tebe Njorwa Nata, Shena Tebe Njorwa Teta Shudena, Tanjo Chubje Segre, then Tatari Tambot and Ranjo Nan, Chil Megulu Topata Chick,
So if we're born with a precious human body with all of these 8 eases complete, then still we need to have these 10 attainments. And there's 5 attainments that depend on oneself and 5 that depend on others. The first of these 5 attainments that depend on oneself is being born as a human being. The second one is being born in a central land where the Dharma has spread, where we can come in contact with the Buddhist teachings.
meke angbotan chik, nawe angbotan ni, nae angbotan sun, che angbotan shi, leja angbotan angbotan sangwa.
And then the third of the 5 attainments for self is to have complete faculties. So to have intact eyes, ears, nose, mouth or tongue, and like body or sense of touch. We have to have all 5 senses.
Okay, then angbotan then megewe chebe le. And
the fourth one is we have to not have wrong livelihood. Like we have to not be engaged in non-virtuous activities.
And
we have to have faith in the Dharma, or in the Buddhist teachings.
Lela megawe legan tamalopata. Sanji get tembala techen Gurshupatene.
So these are the 5 attainments that we have to have for ourselves, or that depend on ourselves. And that's being born as a human, being born in a central land where the Buddhist teachings have spread, having complete sense faculties, not being engaged in like wrong, non-virtuous sorts of livelihood, and having the faith to engage with the Buddhist teachings. Those are the 5 attainments that you have to have for yourself. And then there's 5 attainments that depend on others. And first of those, in general, we have to be born in a place where a Buddha has come. And the second of the 5 attainments that depend on others is we have to be born not just in a place where the Buddha has come, but also in a place where the Buddha taught. We have to be born in a place where the Buddha's teachings are. And the third one is the Buddha's teachings have to remain without having declined. And the fourth one is there have to be people who engage with the Buddhist teachings, enter the Buddhist path, and uphold the Buddhist teachings. Then the fifth one is these beings who have entered the path of the Buddhist teachings and practice them and maintain the lineage of the teachings. Those beings have to, out of their compassion for others, teach and spread the Dharma. Those are the 5 attainments that depend on others.
tene chuzo za masamba tambe chu yang ta pa che ko yores.
So we have to have this precious human body with the 8 eases and the 10 obtainments, the 5 obtainments that depend on oneself and 5 obtainments that depend on others. And it's very difficult to obtain this precious human body with these 18 eases and obtainments. And so now that we have obtained this precious human body this one time, we shouldn't waste it, but we have to put it to good use. It's important to know and recognize that we have this precious human body. So that's why the first of these 4 thoughts that turn the mind towards the Dharma is the difficulty of obtaining the eases and attainments. Then the second one is we have to meditate on impermanence, the impermanence of life. In the root text here it says, whoever is born possesses the phenomena of impermanence and death. Everything that's born has to die on earth, under the ground, in the sky, wherever, everywhere. All beings, everything that's born has to eventually die. So contemplating impermanence is very important for us practitioners. There's all different ways that we can fall under the sway of impermanence and die, through all different ways, through the changing of the external elements in the world, and also through the passing of the seasons, like spring, summer, fall, winter. The conditions that these seasons bring can cause death, and also there's no certainty about how long our lifespan would be naturally anyway. So we can die at any time, and this contemplating impermanence is very important, so that before we've wasted our lives and fall under the sway of impermanence, we can do something beneficial with our lives and practice the Dharma, and in this way we can benefit ourselves, and also through our love and compassion for other beings, we can help other beings if we practice and accomplish our Dharma practice. And this contemplation of impermanence is really important for preventing us from falling under the sway of laziness and procrastination, wasting time. And it's not enough to just think about how life is impermanent and just sit there being sad about it. We have to practice the Dharma in an authentic way, and through our practice accomplish the Dharma. And that's what we need to do with ourselves once we internalize this idea of impermanence. We have to overcome impermanence through practicing the Dharma.
Overcomes and consider. Can overcome.
Okay,
yeah, cross from the Teneta Metava Mesa Sanje Komba Taveka Tabu Zango Virus overcomes it, the Sanje Komba Tango Virus.
So there's Rinpoche was questioning whether this word overcome is right or not, but he said it's an okay word, and in particular what we should understand it to mean is we have to overcome impermanence and establish ourselves in the state of perfect Buddhahood, and that's what it means to overcome impermanence. And then the third of the four thoughts that turn the mind to the Dharma and away from samsara is contemplating the karma, cause and effect. So, and then in the root text, the line we recite for this is, the cause and result of virtuous and non-virtuous actions cannot be denied.
Kaya meba rendo nada, tende chigogo maras, tende maras, gete sing tingwe maranki, gewa da legba, digba ke le kare sayab, tigi jesu, ten sanji ka komba mata patala, tigi gete ke le ke jesu ndana tena, korban delan korongo yaras.
So it's not that when we die everything's over and like we just cease to exist. Whatever virtuous or non-virtuous actions we do, that plants seeds of karma in our minds, and until we attain the state of Buddhahood, we have to continue circling around in samsara, like experiencing the results of our actions.
Younger tamjeti nyongo virus the lende ke lena malena musum semarati nyongo virus lende rang chesha lende.
If we do virtuous actions, we'll experience happiness and positive results, and if we do non-virtuous or harmful actions, we'll experience suffering as a result. And this is just the way things are. It doesn't matter whether we believe in it or accept it or not. Everyone has to experience the results of their own actions.
the soft chabala sabati, make the sumir, soft chaba, go majimba and the sun, telatena, tigan drivutungal, nyungu, tinansingatena, soft jaba, tene, and Zimbatonga, tene, Tsutum Songa, telatena, Dewa, telatembagate, and Dewa Toku, as a liga, Lela tena, Lula.
So we accumulate karma with our body, speech, and mind. And with our body, there's 3 types of non-virtue that are talked about. And the first one is killing, and then there's also stealing and sexual misconduct. But like for killing, if we kill or take the life of other sentient beings, then we have to experience the result of that negative karma. And if we, instead of doing these non-virtuous actions, like instead of killing, if we protect the lives of others, and if instead of stealing, we give with generosity, and if instead of doing sexual misconduct, we maintain self-discipline, then we'll experience positive karma or positive results. So with speech, there's 4 different types of non-virtue: lying, slander or divisive speech, harsh speech, and like idle speech, like idle gossip. And the virtuous actions that are the opposite of these 4 are like speaking the truth instead of lying, saying reconciliatory things, or like saying things that help people get along together instead of slandering and saying divisive things, and speaking very gently instead of saying harsh things, and talking about meaningful things, talking about important things like the Buddhist Dharma, instead of like having idle conversations. And if we do these kinds of 4 virtuous actions with our speech, then we'll experience positive results, like people will say good things about us, we'll become famous, we'll have very positive results. But if we don't, and if we do the non-virtuous actions with our speech, then like we'll become infamous, you could say, or like have a bad reputation, and people will say bad things about us, that kind of thing. We get these kinds of different results from our different actions.
tende che sona thing yi ge gewa sumde tela tembe ge tenera dribu deva yam yores.
And I can't see what you wrote down there. But then there's the three non-virtues of mind, and these are covetousness, what's the word? Like hate, harmful thoughts, wishing harm on others, and wrong view. And the opposites of these three that we should replace them with are, instead of like covetous thoughts, we should have like generous thoughts, altruistic thoughts, wanting to give to others. And instead of harmful thoughts, we should have like loving, beneficial thoughts, wanting to like help others and benefit them. And then instead of wrong view, we should cultivate pure perception.
Conjola yiche tepa, Tsenganjala yiche tepa, Lejundela yiche tepa. Kene, Shenla ya, Pensum, Ningche, Tongsum, Tendechene tene, Luga gewa, Lunga yisum gewa, Dela tene, Tene Dungal tamche, Dela tene yongu yores, Lunga yisum, Chajela tene tene, Dewa tamche, Lunga yisum jendrevala tene. Yungera dene geve gende wala tene yungera tene le sakente tene le singende pe shukchen bote sakente lunga yisum je gona mata chen sakabya mara te sundara rang lunga yisum de yapo chen song ne tene che yang ta bandu yores.
So we should abandon these three non-virtues of the body, killing, stealing, and sexual misconduct, and these four non-virtues of speech, lying, slander, harsh speech, and like idle chatter. And we should abandon these three non-virtues of mind, like covetousness, harmful thoughts, and wrong view. And we should cultivate faith and confident belief in the Buddhist teachings and the three jewels, and we should have loving thoughts, wanting to help other beings, and we should have very generous, altruistic thoughts, wanting to give to them and help them. And so that's kind of how we should train with our body, speech, and mind. We accumulate all our karma through our body, speech, and mind, virtuous or non-virtuous. There's no way to accumulate karma besides those three. And so we have to be really careful to guard our three doors of body, speech, and mind, and be careful what we do with them so that we can accumulate virtue and not accumulate non-virtue, because all happiness comes from practicing or accumulating virtuous karma through our body, speech, and mind, and all suffering comes from accumulating negative karma with our body, speech, and mind.
Sa trainer dalo chulin jirwasha sa tate lodo namba shika shiva ten korwe nyimik samba teres.
Then the next lines are The continuous character of the three realms of samsara is an ocean of suffering. By remembering this, may my mind turn to the holy Dharma. So this is the fourth of the four thoughts that turn the mind to the Dharma, thinking about the faults of samsara.
Deva singata pe kompora deva shara yamar deva yona jurdogre ta dova rikra chokna deva cheshi te mere melaya chir melaya kenga nachi ge donga so chimbu shisetene ti yores.
So in samsara, in the different realms of samsara, like in the hell realm, the hungry ghost realm, and the animal realm, they experience those kinds of suffering that we already talked about. And then in the three so-called happy realms, the human realm, the demigod, and the god realms, we call these the happy realms, but actually they're still within samsara, and actual happiness is a very rare thing in these samsaric states. We could say that humans have the most happiness of all the six realms, but actually humans still experience all the suffering of birth, aging, sickness, and death. And we also experience the suffering of like meeting with our enemies or meeting with circumstances we don't like. And we experience the suffering of separating from those who are close to us, who we love. And we experience the suffering of like experiencing things that we don't want to happen. And we experience the suffering of things not going our way, not getting what we want out of life. And we also experience suffering on top of suffering. Like before one suffering has finished, we experience a whole nother type of suffering on top of that. And we also experience the suffering of change. And this is like, even if we're temporarily happy and enjoying ourselves, that can all change to suffering very quickly, like if someone says something mean to us or we meet with some kind of negative circumstances. And even if we're not experiencing any particular like identifiable suffering right now, all of our actions of body, speech, and mind are creating causes for more suffering in the future. Like whatever seeds we plant will get like results of suffering through our actions of body, speech, and mind. And this is called the like all-pervasive suffering of conditioning.
Tsering no Cy Kassoff Dunga gi dunga, Njuru dunga, Chaban Duji gi dunga, Te Sunan de Tubaya Maras, Tela Tenata, Tale, Tanjogri Mili Rinpoche, Top, Tambe Chodan Dre, Njal, Legendre Hako, Tsenganse, the Legendre Hako Rangi, Gete Shimba Capsula, Tunzola, Kurveki Dunga, Sena Trembachin, Tenata Consola, Ning Tapan, Sovan Denatan, Rang Lo Tambe Chulin Jura Shauche.
So wherever we are in samsara, we're never free from these three types of suffering. The suffering of suffering, or suffering upon suffering, the suffering of change, and the all-pervasive suffering of conditioning. Like wherever we are in whatever type of state of samsaric existence, we're never free from these three types of suffering. But now, while we have this precious human body, while we have the 18 eases and attainments, while we understand the significance of impermanence and karma, cause and effect, and the faults of samsara, we have to, while we have this opportunity and we have all these supporting conditions, we have to do something to help ourselves become free from this suffering. And for that reason, we pray to the Buddhas, to the three jewels from the depths of our heart, and we have to practice and accomplish our Dharma practice in this way.
Tiga loda namba shiti tene tanjul nyakaba tse metaba legendre korwe nimi ti mese kechambures tambo choge golen jungna yang tanta tiga tanda hakona tene chechene che yang taban dugres tene chechega choba sarva yananda nyingba yananda gomchen ba yananda ngakba yananda Nenjarma yananda Trawa yana Gemong yana Lama yana Kembo yana Turku yana Su yana Chepara yamarata Loda namba shida Ranga jila inji Mechi yaboja hakona Tene chöde yaboja yongares Jawa kongma namji tene song yores Tita hamagona tene chöde shira yabo yong tukumares Tiga sona tene Loda namba shida Mesa kechambores.
These four thoughts that turn the mind to the Dharma, the thought of the precious human rebirth and impermanence and karma, cause and effect, and the faults of samsara, these four thoughts are extremely important for all of us, whether, especially when we're new practitioners, but really for everyone, whether we're new practitioners or old practitioners or great yogis or ngakpas or monks or nuns or whatever. Everyone, all of us really need to understand these four thoughts for ourselves and really internalize them in our own minds. And if we do that, then we'll be able to practice the Dharma very well. But if we don't, then our Dharma practice won't really turn out very well.
Tenda sonda tene loda namba shitila tene tambo tanjol nyakawa te tena rangla talwa je njon do mundo rangjong nga de rangla do mundo shenjong nga de rangla do mundo tende chine re nga samna tona tene gom ten te kang ke tona mundo na tondo tene tope tapchi yeba tondo la gawa gom na on ta tane Tanjaki Mili Rinpoche tabate nyingbo londo pe yakundo sam gawa chi. Tene gawa mundo na ya tene tunzo tse tene tene chenko yores tene te ya tene o tanjor di rangla tanda tarwa ge tanjorwa chu yado ya tanjor puson soba yana ya teta munda re tene njirwe ge che jen re ten zane yamara sam tene tse munda la samna tang gom Tene, te jala on kan de Dari Rangan comes on Corbandina, Jane, Sonde, Sanje Comba Mato, Patala, and Dele Tarvaka Tap Mando, then Lendre la Yi Chen, then Lendre to the in the Sam no Tan, then it's Gom, then Corvala, then Shamba Dog, Corva on Tam, Corva second tilla, then Ne, then Dongal Mata San Mando, that Tilly. Dog chows a Jovatan, Sanjego Comba Top Gogoto, Tia Rang Chipo Member Majin Katatan, Simjan Tamje, then some no cheaper and Ranong Shiri, Tada Tamje, Due Devan Dogoyore, Mendova Dongan Dogoyomare, Ina Tunzo, then Gedik Lende, Kandechi, Gewa Kain, Depa Kain, Washing Yomare, Tanga Rang. Chinchen Sawe Lama Kantani gave Shinyana Tenata, Getiki, Lendre Hakoson, Tekona Range, Yamsane, Shina, Yingje, Monam Tap, then Terechan, Chur the Yam, Papajan Dukin, then the Chevape Yapo Yungares.
So we have to think about and meditate on every one of these points very carefully and really contemplate them well, like with the eases and attainments of the precious human rebirth. We should go through each of the 8 eases and the 5 attainments that depend on oneself and the 5 attainments that depend on others. And think about them one by one and think about whether we have them, whether those are complete within us or not. And if they aren't, then we should find a way to make it so that they are complete. Search and try and make it so that we have all of them. And if we feel that we do have all of these eases and attainments of the precious human rebirth, then we should rejoice that we have such bountiful good circumstances. And then, although we have these bountiful good circumstances, it could all be taken away from us at any time. We cultivate this contemplation of impermanence, thinking we don't know when we'll die. There's no certainty to any of it. So we have to not waste our time, and we have to practice the Dharma well. And we have to understand the law of karma, cause and effect, and the faults of samsara, and develop renunciation from samsara, thinking that there's no good in anything that comes from samsara. And we have to practice the Dharma in order to free ourselves from samsara. But also, all other sentient beings are in the same situation as us. They all want happiness. They all don't want suffering, but they don't know about virtue and non-virtue. They don't know what causes happiness, what causes suffering. They don't know what to accept and what to reject. But we should have compassion for them and make aspiration prayers that we can help them. And if we can do all of that, then we can become very good practitioners.
Okay, we can short break.